Monthly resistance sitting at 58.8. Support at 35,000. Weekly is a little better. We have 49,284. That's our target. That's our target close. That will give us a bullish engulfed weekly. And what that can really do is cancel out some of the ugliness of last week's close. If we get it, I think that we pretty much ignore this doji candle. Money flow's trending up. Our momentum's trending up. MACD agrees, showing no signs of weakness despite that uglier close. That is actually confidence building for me. That price has just consolidated, chilled there, and maybe found support on that golden pocket. That would suggest a move to 54.5. Test that deep retracement. If we make it to there, the probability of 58.8 is very good. I think that's what we're seeing. Maybe the only factor is just the psychological 50K. Psychological levels in crypto, extremely important, extremely responsive to, in trading, but they don't tend to be the end of the line, if that makes sense. They tend to be pit stops. So hopefully that's what we're seeing here. Cheer just a little bit lower. So 46,100 is the 200 daily moving average. We have our targets. We know what prices we want to stay above. 46,000. Losing that 200 daily would be bad. Week's going to be your first signal of trouble. What I like about this chart so far is that it has given us very defined validation and invalidation points. You think 42.2, I still think this, is the level. This is the level we don't want to lose. This is the level that if we saw a nice back test, could be an extremely strong entry. On the daily, there's something else interesting coming up that I'm sure you guys have heard people talk about. A golden cross is coming. Roughly, I would estimate mid-September. So like September 15th is about the timing on that. What I can say about this cross that you're not going to get anywhere else is one, is it should happen around September 15th. And two, now this is our own original TA, so you're not going to find it anywhere else. The 200 daily, as long as we stay above this, by the time they cross, the 200 daily will be trending up. That's going to be important. We want our longer moving average trending up during a cross. You can see back here on this death cross, the 200 was trending up. The 50 trended down, crossed over bearishly, but the 200, the longer moving average, was moving against the cross. And what I have seen in my experience is when that's the case, regardless if it's a golden cross or death cross, bearish, bullish cross, the longer moving average, whichever direction it's going, if it's going against that cross, we tend to see those not play out. A second note, I'd like to see price, honestly, as much as I don't want it to sit still until the 15th, the closer price is to this cross, the higher probability I'm going to view it as a bullish signal. If tomorrow, and I'm not in any way suggesting this, but if tomorrow it just flies up to 58.8, right? And we see consolidation. Yes, the 200 will start trending up. The 50 will come cross it in the middle of September. But what I would expect to happen then is a test of that cross. The farther price is away from this cross, the more probable, I believe, it is for price to come back and test it. Bitcoin is basically catching up with the total crypto market cap. We've already seen this golden cross happen on total crypto market cap. So the whole market combined has performed this cross. Bitcoin catching up. I do believe, because most people don't look at total, they don't chart total, I believe that that's probably a good signal, much better than if we see it on Bitcoin or just saw it on Bitcoin. Let's check back in briefly with our other daily time frames here on Ichi, because they're telling a pretty cool story. Oh wow, look at these moving averages, holy moly. On hold for a second because we just found some spice. Ooh boy. What do we see here, boys and girls? What do we see? One of our favorite Crown Crypto TA classics. Classics. Look at this. On the 2-day. No one else in the world has seen this. Can almost guarantee it. We have our bullish kissing potential. Check this out. Look at that. They are parallel. They are parallel. This is telling us, I guess, we may use that as a stop loss, an invalidation. If we don't see that, we get our bullish kissing and we get a monstrous move. That's wild. So the 2-day here is telling us a pretty cool story. The lagging line has left the clouds. It has pushed through the clouds' weakness, and that's typically a bullish signal. Typically, that's a bullish signal. But that's not the most important thing on this chart here. The 2-day, you guys can probably tell even at home, we're above the TK. We tested this flat cloud as both resistance and support, and it held. This is on the 2-day. 2-day candles, 8 days. Finding support there before moving higher. That is very bullish. Very, very bullish. We see the Ichimoku cloud has already given us the signal that the winds may be changing. We see the clouds crossing again. This is as good as it gets. This is as good as it gets. 3-day is in the same condition, except it's even cleaner. This is why I wanted to look at Ichi today. Even cleaner. Check this out. Check it out. Not only did price move through our weakness in the cloud, we literally talked about this back here, late July. We said on the 3-day, there's a weakness in the cloud, and that suggests mid-August to end of August, we can see price look to drive through it. That's what we got. So Ichimoku cloud not only telling us or hinting to us trend changes, also hinting to us dates in the future. That's why I love this indicator. One thing that it does that almost no other indicators do is that it attempts to front run. It attempts to project forward. Most indicators are simply delayed, showing you what's already happened. 3-day cloud, same thing. So you broke through the weakness, faked out temporarily, and this back test in the 3-day, perfect. Not only did it hold, but we saw a bullish engulf off of the cloud. Ichimoku is angry. It's angry. It wants blood. It wants bear blood. That's so bullish, and it's the TKs come right up underneath. You can follow that 3-day TK if you want an even tighter stop loss. September 30th, wow, the last day of September to the middle of October. We do have a weakness in the cloud. This could be a threat. This could be, if we're going to see downside, could be when we see it. So keep an eye on these dates. This is not new. If you've watched this channel, we have talked about this now for 2 weeks, going on 3 weeks, 3 weeks going on 4 weeks, who knows? The weekly. This is really what matters because of the potential. One, we are above the clouds. We never moved through them. We never tested them as support. That's actually a really good sign because if we look back, let's say 2017, this was potentially where you could argue the bear market started. Fell down through, rejected from our Kaijun, and just struggled to make highs. We fell through the cloud. Not the case here. Swerve in the cloud, making a very similar approach. So we had that same thing. Price started gunning to that weekly cloud. Like we did in 2017, we would have found resistance there. We broke up above, closed above, and look at where our support is. Look at this. Look at it. It's very exciting. I forgot about this. Right here. We found support. As long as price stays above 46.8, so above the 200, it all starts adding up, right? We get something incredible. This is actually serious, though. This is an incredible signal. If price stays above the Kaijun, the TK, the Tenkan-san, this is the shorter, the quicker reacting line, is going to continue to move up, and it's going to cross. The bullish cross above the clouds, which is the strongest signal Ichimoku cloud can generate. That's it. Nothing tops it. A cross up above the clouds is coming if we keep above 46.8. So to really drive home how spicy this is, the last time this happened, didn't happen last year, didn't happen the year before. These crosses were in the cloud, below the cloud, in the cloud. We have to go back pretty far. Right here. October. Right? It's all adding up now. It's all adding up. October 2016. It's been 5 years since this happened. And you can see the same thing happened before. We had a cross, a bearish cross above the cloud. That was a weak bearish signal. And then we got what we're looking for here in the next few weeks. Look what happened after that. Here's what I would argue. This is my argument. My argument is that we've seen one stage of this bull run. It's not a unique argument. Other people have this too. But I have the backing. So far, that would imply we've seen this. That would imply we have not seen this parabolic leg. That makes sense. We don't have this blow off top. Even price action at 65 looks a lot more like this, much more rounded. 2017, 2018, blow off top. You can visibly see this on the weekly. Price went from $633 to $20K. That's 3,000%. I've said this before. Am I arguing we're going to see a 3,000% move from here? No, I'm not making that argument, because that would put the price of Bitcoin at like 1.5 million. I am a perma bull, and I believe it will get to 1.5 million. I don't believe it will get there in the next year. That might take a little longer. That might be towards the end of the 2020s. We have, and it's not just the potential, it's not just speculation. It's like we have it locked and loaded if we stay above 46.8. We can trade below, but we really don't want to see candles close below. This cross, if we get this confirmation, GG. GG to the bears. It will be nutty. I think we actually saw something similar on the monthly. Yes, in October. This is when I started getting super psyched. 2020 in October. This is on the monthly. We got a cross. This kick started our rally. When we get the opposite signal here, like October. Have you noticed that October? It's always October. I don't know. It's always October. Just is. October 2018, we got the opposite signal. We went from 6K to 3K, we bottomed. We got this in October. Now we're looking for a new high, and we're looking, at some point, for this to happen again. Probably not anytime soon. But even on the monthly, we're in the trend. Ichimoku Cloud, what would I do without you? Look at this. Look at it. The TK. Just right underneath this monthly candle, just cupping it gently. Saying, hey, bud, go ahead. Reach for the stars. That's just, it's so spicy. Kaijin right at our monthly support. It all adds up. I don't want to see trading below 35,000 again ever. Monthly doesn't want it. So really that's it. The longer we stay sideways here, the better. The more time that'll give the TK to move up. We speculated this back in May. We're looking for a move to 48, and the longer it takes to get there, the longer it stays sideways, the better. That's still the case. Nothing has changed. Pretty wild.